It's 7 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. You're sitting at your desk, the blue light from your monitor reflecting off your glasses, and you feel that specific, heavy kind of exhaustion. Your back aches, your eyes are dry, and your inbox is finally, mercifully, empty. By all traditional accounts, you've had a good day. You were in back-to-back meetings, you cleared 60 emails, you checked 12 items off your to-do list. You were, by every definition of the word, busy. But as you shut down your laptop, a quiet, nagging question starts to itch at the back of your brain. If I'm working this hard, why does my bank account look exactly the same as it did 6 months ago? If I'm doing everything right, why does it feel like I'm just running on a treadmill that someone else is controlling? We've been conditioned to believe that exhaustion is a badge of honor. We've been taught that the person who stays latest at the office or the person with the most frantic calendar is the one who's winning. But there is a silent, devastating difference between being busy and being productive. And for most of us, that gap is where our wealth and our peace of mind goes to die. Today, I want to talk about why your hustle might actually be the very thing keeping you stuck, and how the truly wealthy stopped working for their time and started making their time work for them. For a long time, I lived under the impression that wealth was a linear equation. I thought that if I worked 8 hours and made a certain amount, then working 16 hours would surely make me twice as much. It's a very logical, very human way to think. It's the worker's paradigm. We see a mountain of tasks, we put our heads down, and we start shoveling. We've been told since we were kids that hard work is the primary ingredient for success. The problem is that the world doesn't pay you for your effort. It doesn't care how much you sweat or how many hours of sleep you sacrificed. The world only pays for value. And value is almost never created in the state of being busy. When we're busy, we're reactive. We're answering the pings, responding to the crises, and filling our time with low-level tasks. It's a psychological safety net. If I'm busy, I don't have to face the terrifying high-stakes work that actually moves the needle. We use busyness as a shield to protect us from the vulnerability of doing things that might actually fail. Think about the last time you felt truly slammed. Were you making moves that would benefit you 5 years from now, or were you just making sure you didn't drown today? Most of us are so busy trying to keep our heads above water that we never stop to realize we're swimming in circles. We've normalized the struggle. We've made being tired a personality trait. But the truth is, if you're always busy, you're likely not building anything. You're just maintaining a status quo that someone else designed. To understand how to break this, we have to look at the concept of leverage. Archimedes once famously said that if you gave him a lever long enough and a place to stand, he could move the entire world. He didn't say he could move the world by pushing on it really, really hard. He talked about a tool that multiplies effort. In the world of money and work, there are two types of people, those who provide the effort and those who provide the lever. Most of us are the effort. We trade 1 hour of our life for 1 unit of currency. This is linear. It's capped. You only have 24 hours in a day, and no matter how much caffeine you drink, you can't work 25. If your income is tied to your physical presence and your immediate effort, you are trapped in a busy cycle by default. You have to be busy because the moment you stop, the money stops. Productivity, in the way the wealthy understand it, is the act of building levers. It's about taking an hour of work today and making sure it pays you for the next 10 years. It's the difference between picking fruit and planting an orchard. Picking fruit is a busy task. You do it, you eat, and tomorrow you have to go back and pick more. Planting an orchard is a productive task. It's harder, it takes longer to see the results, and it doesn't give you that immediate hit of "I did something today." But eventually, the orchard feeds you while you sleep. This is where the math of wealth actually lives. It's not in the overtime hours. It's in the systems, the assets, and the delegated tasks that function without you. When you look at high performers who seem to have all the time in the world, it's not because they're smarter or because they found a secret 26th hour. It's because they spent their busy years building productive systems. They understood that work is a means to an end, not the end itself. There's a specific psychological trap here, though. Our brains are wired to prefer the busy work. There's a phenomenon called completion bias. Our brains release a little hit of dopamine every time we finish a task.
Clearing 5 small emails feels better than spending 4 hours staring at a blank page trying to solve a massive strategic problem. So we naturally gravitate toward the emails. We spend our best energy on things that don't matter, and then we wonder why we're too exhausted to do the things that do. We have to realize that being busy is often just a form of procrastination. It's productive procrastination. You're doing stuff so you feel like you're making progress, but you're really just avoiding the heavy lifting. The heavy lifting is the work that requires deep thought, long-term planning, and the courage to say no to the trivial many so you can say yes to the vital few. The turning point happens when you stop asking, "How can I do this?" and start asking, "How can this get done?" Or better yet, "Does this even need to be done?" Imagine your life as a business. If you're the CEO, the janitor, the accountant, and the salesperson all at once, your business will never scale. You will be the bottleneck. You will be the busiest person in the room, and you will be the reason the company fails. To be productive, you have to fire yourself from the low-leverage roles. You have to stop doing the $20 an hour work so you have the mental space for the $2,000 an hour thinking. This shift is uncomfortable. It feels like doing nothing at first. If you spend your morning thinking about your 5-year plan instead of answering Slack messages, you might feel guilty. You might feel like you're being lazy. But that's just the worker's paradigm trying to pull you back onto the treadmill. You have to realize that being busy is no longer measured by the quantity of your output, but the quality of your decisions. A single high-leverage decision can create more wealth than 10 years of 40-hour work weeks. So how do we actually apply this? How do we stop the busy cycle without just quitting our jobs and hoping for the best? It starts with a radical audit of your time, not just a calendar check, but a leverage audit. Look at everything you did last week. For every task, ask yourself, if I do this today, will it make my life easier tomorrow? If the answer is no, that was a busy task. If the answer is yes, that was a productive task. Most of us find that about 80% of our week is spent on things that have a shelf life of less than 24 hours. The goal isn't to get to zero busy work. That's impossible. Life requires maintenance. You have to pay the bills, you have to answer some emails, you have to do the dishes. The goal is to slowly, incrementally tilt the scales. It's about carving out just 1 hour a day where you are strictly forbidden from being busy. 1 hour where you only work on things that have leverage. Maybe that's learning a new skill, building a piece of software, creating a content system, or researching an investment. You also have to learn the power of the word no. Busy people say yes to everything because they want to feel needed. Productive people say no to almost everything so they can protect their energy for the things that actually matter. Every time you say yes to a pointless meeting or a social obligation you don't care about, you are saying no to your future freedom. You are choosing to stay on the treadmill. And finally, we have to stop romanticizing the grind. We need to start romanticizing the pause. The most productive people I know spend a lot of time doing things that look like nothing. They go for long walks. They sit in silence. They read deeply. They do this because they know that a rested, clear mind is a far more powerful lever than a tired, frantic one. You can't see the path forward if you're running so fast that the world is a blur.
I want you to take a second and look at your hands. They're capable of so much, but they weren't meant to be the only engine of your survival. You were meant to be the architect, the designer, the one who builds the systems that set you free. The next time you find yourself saying, "I'm just so busy," I want you to stop. I want you to take a breath and ask yourself, am I busy moving forward or am I just busy moving? There's no prize for the person who worked the most hours in a life they didn't enjoy. There is only the quiet satisfaction of the person who built a life that allows them to stop working whenever they choose. Don't beat yourself up if you've been stuck on the treadmill. We all have. The system is designed to keep us there. It's designed to keep us tired because tired people are easy to manage and they don't ask too many questions. But you're asking the questions now, and that's the first step off the machine. Progress isn't about doing more. It's about being okay with a half-empty to-do list if the 3 things on it are the things that change your life. You are not a machine. You are a human being with a limited amount of time on this planet. Stop spending it all on the busy and start investing it in the productive. Slow down, breathe, and start building your lever. I'll see you at the crossover point.